What is up? 1998 Year in Review continues with WCW's Uncensored. This was actually an entertaining pay-per-view. If this damn thing won't. So this was on March 15th at the Mobile Civic Center in Mobile, Alabama. Now let me tell you about the best Hogan and Race Hitch with this book right here. Before the 12,062 fans at the Cow Palace, the Super Bowl pay-per-view was yet another sellout. Yet another superb main event. Sting beat Hogan when the held up WCW title, but has been killed by so dead the Starrcade booking that it was a little too worst. He could even make a clean win as Randy Savage had to hit Hogan with a spray paint can prior to the finish. Once again, Sting came out looking like an infernity to the mighty Hulkster, and fans were starting to catch on the fact if that wasn't bad enough, they usually get great undercards. Wasn't so great, although. Anyways. We headline including Hogan's old buddy Ed Leslie, known as Ed Harrison Leslie, with included as the new NWO member. Further, we're down to the one elite faction. No, was Nitro again breaking its own record, but Big Shock also had a great card for the Uncensored pay-per-view on March 15 in Mobile, Alabama. Hogan versus Savage in a cage. Sting versus Scott Hall for the WCW title. Luger versus Scott Steiner. And Giant versus Nash. Surely it's the same little horrible workers on the top. But it doesn't matter. It was sanctioned a top billing more. The next week, Raw and Nitro drew a combined 80,060 ratings for the shows that saw the one-side baddest man on the planet, Mike Tyson, the cutting-edge Shawn Michaels led the Generation X Factor, and the other side, the thousand zillion NWO run-in. Fans were obnoxious for WCW to do something different, dramatically different, and crazy, like, say, a clean finish, but WCW saw no reason to do that. After all, their shows did a 4.81, and Vince was show that did a 380. They beat the WWF by a whole point. There was no reason to change anything backstage, then combine to spiral out of control. The loop. So there you go. Booker T defeats Eddie Guerrero to retain the World Television title, and really a really good match. I give this a 7 out of 10. I thought who did Guerrero defeat? And to make it 1-0 for the NWO, which is surprising. This match was decent. I gave this a 6. Next up, Chris Jericho defeats Dean Malenko to retain the Cruiserweight Championship. Yeah, Dean Malenko unfortunately will be sent home, so he'll be back until Slamboree. Great match. And 8. Next up, Lex Luger defeats Scott Steiner for, and that's 2-0 for WCW over the NWO. Next up, Diamond Page defeats Raven and Chris Benoit in a triple threat match for the United States title. We'll call it triple Jeopardy match, whatever it is. Best match on the card, a 9.5 out of 10. Next up, the Giant defeats Kevin Nash by disqualification. This is not fun. I sold out 5.5. Brian Adams, Big Show goes nuts, or the Giant, calling the Giant here. That's a Bret Hart defeats Kurt. Another win. That's 4-0 for the WCW side. Not as great as the matches in the WWF, but I give this a 7. Next up, the Sting defeats Scott Hall to retain the WCW title. 5-0 for WCW. Can you believe that? This match was actually not that bad match. I give it a 6. Sting makes it 5-0. They destroyed the New World Order. And they had self-destruction in the main event, where Hogan and Savage fought to a no contest and a steel cage match, by the way. Anyways, hang on. And Hogan versus was an embargo bad cage match, even by WCW standards. That includes run-ins, staying the disciple, and didn't even have a finish to a both to some hardcore fans. Until they left the latest life up, it was regarded of being the worst pay-per-view presence. But the issues that was being clear to anyone, those running the company, was that in place sold out crowds, record-breaking records, and amazing buy rates. They were putting on a bad show after bad show. No, it was not the finish. I give it a 4.5 because of the finish. But I give this a 6.5 out of 10. Like Super Brawl, but I prefer Super Brawl over this. But next up will be WrestleMania 14 and Spring Stampede. And let me tell you about Spring Stampede. Sting loses his world title. Diamond Page loses his United States title. And the winners of those, Randy Savage and Raven, did not hold their belts long. And WrestleMania 14, where the Austin era begins. Bye.